Well, Chad Otis is a children's book author, and his latest release, The Bright Side, deals with a serious topic in a way that helps our kids connect and understand. Random House calls it an endearing picture book about making the most of any situation and a heartfelt, meaningful portrait of houselessness that is just right for young children. So, Chad, thank you so much for joining us. I am looking at all these copies of your amazing children's books. Tell me about The Bright Side.
Okay, yeah, you bet. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
The Bright Side is, I've been doing this for about 6 years so far and made these books and authored some of them and authored and illustrated others. But The Bright Side is pretty near and dear to me. It's a pretty personal story, and I'll tell you why. So this little guy grows up on a school bus for about 4 years when his parents can't afford to live in their house anymore. And doesn't go to a real school, or a conventional school, I should say, until about the 3rd grade. And that causes a lot of problems for him. It's not easy to be socially isolated for that long and then be integrated with kids. So there are, it touches on houselessness, food insecurity, and especially now in a time when a lot of kids are dealing with this sort of thing, where they're couch hopping or staying with relatives. Or
so much more than you think, right here in our community.
Exactly, yeah. It felt like a good time to, write and illustrate and get this book out into and there's more social awareness around a lot of things like this.
And it's beautiful because it's meaningful to you. It's a very special story for you.
And having said all those things, of course, the book is about looking on the bright side within all of that. So our little guy, and you can see, here's the whole bus there.
Oh yeah, the front and the back. Yeah, that's way cool.
The parents, my parents, paint on it. And I should say, in the book on the flap, and there's a picture there, and you can't really see that, but I brought a big one of, there's me in the little shirt, or the yellow shirt with my folks.
What a beautiful story.
All right.
Yeah, I'm excited to read these. I have 2 young boys at home. I have a 3-year-old and I have an 8-month-old, both of them obsessed with being read to, obsessed with reading books. I actually feel like we don't have enough books because he needs them all the time. I plan to get some of these books. And can you tell me where people are able to find some of your books? Yeah,
there you can get most or all of them at Barnes & Noble. Rediscovered Bookshops is where, our bookstore as well, where I'll be launching this book on Saturday.
Okay.
At 11 a.m.? Yeah, at 11 at Rediscovered Books. So they're a good place, a good local place to buy the books. And I'll be signing books there too.
Yeah. And you've joined us here on Idaho Today before, and you've showcased other books. Was one of them one of these books here?
I was on with Melissa not long ago for my last book, A Little Fairy Tale.
Fairy tale.
I lived in Seattle for 35 years, and fairies were a big part of my life. So that's a story about a little fairy who doesn't get enough attention like the other boats.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love these stories. It feels like there's so much heartfelt meaning behind your stories, which I think means a lot for parents, right? Speaking as a parent myself, like those are the kind of books that I like to gravitate towards for my children, which is awesome. And you've also partnered with the Idaho Food Bank.
Yeah, partnered with. I talked with the Idaho Food Bank recently, and they were nice enough to give away. And I brought this because I like visual cues myself. But the Idaho Food Bank, if you go and donate $50 or more, you'll win a chance, or the first 5 people to do it, I should say, will get a signed book. And I've signed some of these books, and I actually got a fancy little rainbow stamp too. I don't know if you can see that, but there
it is, a signed copy.
Yeah, so first 5 people to donate at idahofoodbank.org and put the word book, please, in the notes, will win a signed copy of the book.
Okay, so put book in the notes.
Yep, put book in the notes.
I love this. It's a double meaning, right? You're able to get an amazing book for your family, and then you're able to help a family by donating to the Idaho Food Bank.
Yeah, and when I made this story, like I said, it was pretty personal to me, and I was really just kind of telling my story. Since I've published the story, I've had a lot more people contacting me and saying that it really kind of meant something to them, and I'm actually learning as I go about what kind of problems, issues kids are dealing with. And Idaho Food Bank, on their site, you can see that as many as 11% of kids in Idaho deal with food insecurity.
There's
some point.
so much more of a need than I think we realize in our community with food insecurities and kids going without food at school and other means. And so this is really good that not only are you raising awareness for that, but you're writing an incredible story for families to enjoy forever.
That's the idea. And like I said, it's about the bright side, so it's not all a big downer or anything.
No, it is. It's
yeah.
the bright side,
Yeah.
and you've got to check it out and read all about the bright side. And do you have a website that people can
Yeah,
go
in
to?
fact, if you want any more information on the events or the event this weekend or the books, chadotis.com. So just my name, CHADOTIS.com. Find all that stuff.
chadotis.com.
Yeah.
Thank you very much
You
for
bet.
joining us. I'm excited to read a couple of these copies
Thanks.
myself to
Yeah,
my
yeah.
kids. And more Idaho Today right after the break.